Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Ask Coach Marie. I'm Marie O'Neill, founder of Padma Life Coaching and your host on this series. This is a place where you ask a question and I give my unique opinion as a life renewal coach, astrologer, and past life regression facilitator. Please know that I am not a therapist and I will never tell you what you must do. Each week on Friday, a new video is released with me answering 2 questions from the viewers. In addition to those 2 questions, I talk about various other life renewal topics. Let's go ahead and get going with the topics for this week. All right, our first topic or question comes from Olivia, who is in Portland, Maine. Olivia writes, Coach Marie, I'm a classic people pleaser. I say yes to almost every request at work and in my personal life, even when I'm already overwhelmed. I'm constantly stressed and often resentful, but I'm terrified of disappointing people or being seen as selfish if I say no. How can I start setting healthy boundaries without feeling consumed by guilt? This is a wonderful question, Olivia. I appreciate you asking it, and I'm sure other people who are listening to this will also appreciate you asking it. Now, first of all, when a lot of people have, of course, an issue being a people pleaser, what you really need to do is get to the root of it to find out where this issue comes from. Is it something from childhood? Is it something that you brought in from a prior life? You need to get to the root of it. And there's various ways for you to do that. You can, of course, go to a coach or go to a therapist, have a few sessions to get to the root and work through the issue, because the issue is going to keep coming up over and over again within you if you don't do this. Now, in the meantime, because it's such an issue, you need to come up with ways to set a boundary and get some space in between the ask from the other person and your response. I'm assuming that your response is an automatic yes when you're asked. When you're asked for a favor or someone asks you something, you want to initially say, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. This is going to give you some space, some time for you to make a decision on whether this is something you really want to do or not. If it's something you really want to do, then of course you go back and say, yes, I'll do it. But if it's not, then you can come up with how you're going to say no. When you do this initially, when you need to say no initially, it's going to be very difficult because you're not used to saying no. It's a muscle that you have to build, that you have to develop. And so it takes time. You might benefit from writing out a statement of saying no. If you can email the person or send them a text rather than having to say no verbally, that's going to help too. These are a couple of ways that you can say no without it being too painful in the beginning. Over time, it'll get easier for you to say no. But in the beginning, it's going to be extremely challenging. If you have to say no in person, rehearse how you're going to say no. Stand in front of a mirror and practice, and then go to the person and say no with compassion. Now, you also need to come up with what you want to say if you get pushback, because you'll probably get some pushback, especially since whoever you're going to need to say no to isn't used to you saying no. So practice that too. I hope that helps you. Please comment below and let me know how you're getting on. And as I said, please have a few sessions with a life coach or a therapist so that you can get to the bottom of the issue of why you're having a challenge saying no. All right. Now, our topic for today is based on the question that I just answered from Olivia. Our topic for today is based on the question that I just answered for Olivia, and it's the gentle art of saying no. And sometimes saying yes, too, because there are some people who automatically say no before they say yes. And then there are other people who automatically say yes when they mean no. The core issue is the same. It's just that the result is different. When we are having an issue saying no or an issue saying yes, it's usually an issue of boundaries. And boundaries can be a challenge to cultivate. It's a skill. It's something that has to be learned. It's a muscle that has to be built. And when we learn boundaries, we usually learn boundaries first as a kid, and we learn it from our parents. How did our parents set up boundaries for us? How did they show us how to set up boundaries? And the community that we are born into, the culture we're born into, the family we're born into, these areas determine how we set boundaries, how we say no, how we say yes. If you find that you're having an issue, please be kind to yourself. Have compassion for yourself, because it is something that can be challenging. When you need to set boundaries, especially if you know you need to set boundaries, you have to be aware, of course, first, and you have to come up with a plan to set the boundaries and work a little bit at a time. When I say a little bit at a time, I mean, start with something small, something that is insignificant that you need to say yes or no to. Feel how you feel inside with that emotion of saying yes and saying no. Start with something that may be insignificant. Maybe it could be someone's asking you to go to lunch, and you could be busy and not available to go to lunch. Or maybe you're excited to go to lunch, but you want to practice. This is about practicing the art of saying no and the art of saying yes. So you want to feel how that feels, and you want to get a little bit of space in between your response to the question or to the ask. And so you step back a little bit and say, hey, give me a minute, or I'll get back to you. Then think about your response and what you want it to be, and then come back with your response with whatever it is, whether it's yes or no. Either way, it's going to be a little bit challenging because it's a muscle that you're building. Over time, you will build that muscle. You will be able to set the boundary. When we have a problem setting boundaries and we don't set them, we are in violation of ourselves, violation of our own internal wisdom, violation of our boundaries. We are not protecting ourselves. And this is something that can get us in trouble. It can get us in deep trouble if we are constantly saying yes when we want to say no, or vice versa. So start small with something that is insignificant, and you don't have to worry about something big coming along that you need to say yes or no to, because it will happen automatically. It happens organically. Take a few deep breaths and say, I need to get back to you on that. I need to check my schedule. Never say no or yes right away if you have an issue saying boundaries. All right? So I hope that helps. Drop a comment below or send me an email to let me know how you're getting on with setting boundaries. All right, our next question comes from Ben, who is in Austin, Texas. And Ben writes, my adult sibling constantly leans on me for emotional and sometimes financial support. often creating drama or expecting me to drop everything. I love them, but it's draining me and affecting my own family. I feel obligated, but also trapped. How do I manage this relationship more healthily without completely severing ties? This is a wonderful question, Ben, and it is a sensitive question. With siblings, whether they're older or younger, the issue is the same, and that is being able to set boundaries with them and be able to say no. I'm going to assume that this is an issue that has been going on for a long time. It may have been going on for years, for decades. Because of this, it's going to be challenging to deal with. However, it doesn't mean that it's impossible. Your family structure is going to come into play, meaning your extended family. Do you have other siblings? Do you have parents who are still here? Do they know what's going on? You could get pushback from other family members by saying no. What you want to do is have a heart-to-heart conversation with your sibling and let your sibling know up front what the issues are and how you feel. You don't want the sibling to feel guilty, and you don't want to blame anyone. You don't want to say that it's causing you problems in your immediate family with your mate or your kids, because that's not a good thing. You want it to stay with you, just with you, and let your sibling know how you feel. Ask your siblings a series of questions. For example, how do they feel receiving help from you? What are their expectations? What's going on with them? And let them know, of course, what's going on with you. And you do need to set a boundary. Set a limit on how much you're able to help. If this is causing you problems financially, you want to let them know. If you need to get therapy, family therapy, I would actually recommend that. There are family therapists who can step in and be mediators and help you talk through this issue. Because what you don't want is for your sibling to feel that they're, of course, out in the cold, that they have no help at all, even emotional help. But you also want your sibling to be strong, to build the muscle of being self-sufficient. You don't want to enable them. As I said, this is a delicate question, and it's one that I would certainly recommend you have a conversation with the sibling about, and see if the sibling is open to going to therapy. I would recommend therapy rather than a coach for this issue. Please send me an email and let me know how everything works out, or put a comment below in the comment section too. I wish you well with this, and once again, please let me know how you're getting on. All right, this is it for the questions for this week. I thank you. I thank everyone who has taken the time to listen to this episode. If you have a question that you would like me to answer, please send it to padmacoach@icloud.com. That's padmacoach@icloud.com. If you'd like to learn more about the services that I offer, please go to the website, padmalifecoaching.com. On there, you will see information on astrology, past life regression, life coaching. You can sign up for a session through the website, and you can also send me an email through the website. If you'd like to learn more about me and how I became a life coach and how I worked through trauma that I had, please check out my book, And the Lotus Opened, a memoir. You can find that book where any online books are sold. That would be Barnes & Noble, Amazon, 8 Books. There's a few others out there too. So Please be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel also. That really does help with the algorithms to get these episodes out to other people. I look forward to seeing you back here next week. Bye-bye.